I think from a breaking standpoint, what the new generation lacks is kind of a connection to the culture, to hip-hop culture. I think our generation, it was more common, at least when I was a kid, it was like you had to know your stuff. You gotta know the graph artists. You have to have, not only should you have favorite graph artists, you should know how to tag your name as well. You should be able to know the basics of graffiti. You should know the basics of DJing. You know what I mean? I actually DJ'd a bit before I even braked, because I was hearing scratching in the music I was listening, and I was like, what's that? It would be nice. I think the newer generation is disconnected because of the internet. Mm-hmm. People can learn how to just break, and breaking is so exciting. You don't really need the culture side as much anymore, mm-hmm. but so much of that adds to the texture of why we move the way we move, we dress the way we dress.
What's up, everyone? I'm B-boy Ronnie, and welcome to District Talks, a podcast where we talk about the evolution of breaking with some of my good friends who made an impact in the world of dance. In today's episode, I have my commentary booth partner in crime, Renegade Rockers, and Squadron's very own, the one and only Kid David.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? They're going crazy. No, seriously, guys, relax. Like, seriously, relax.
Finally, by the way, Kid David was actually one of the first guests that I asked to be on the show, but he was too busy. But now he has some time.
Was it too busy or too cool, Ronnie?
Both. Too Hollywood.
Let's just let's just get the elephant in the room out. Yeah.
I had to save money to put him on this podcast. He's actually getting paid. He's probably the only guest that's getting paid for this.
Sorry.
I'll just play.
To all my boys back home, it's just what it is. No. Dang, this intro was insane.
So, David.
Yes.
How old were you when you started breaking?
Oh, okay. I started breaking around 9 or 10 years old.
9 and 10?
Yep.
What were you doing before you started breaking?
I was convinced I was going to be a professional soccer player.
Oh, shoot.
Soccer was like, I was obsessed with soccer. It's what I wanted to do. So, yeah.
When you got into breaking, did your parents support it?
Yeah, so that's, I guess, part of the thing is my mom was a ballet dancer. Yes, I've told this story many times, but my mom was a ballet dancer. My dad was a pantomime. If you know what pantomime is.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, these guys.
Yes.
So, art was very much in my family. And I grew up with musical instruments and a big floor and wasn't really allowed to watch TV. So, I think it was kind of, art was very much.
So you picked up breaking pretty easily.
Yeah, art and music was part of our lives. And I grew up watching my mom dancing and choreographing. So it was very much, supported in that way. And, I think because I was athletic, I was always an athletic kid. So soccer was natural for me, and I used to run track, and I was just an athletic kid. So,
So what was your introduction to breaking?
I guess my introduction to breaking, the first time I really saw breaking, it was two things. There was a kid at my middle school that could do windmills, and the girl that I liked him. And I remember clocking that and being like, okay, so she likes the guy that can do windmills. And I already knew what breaking was from a mix of things, which was music videos and the movie Breakin'. I remember there's a kid that jumps out of a trash can in the intro of the Breakin' movie. He's like a little kid. He jumps out of a trash can and he does head spins. And I remember being like, what's that? And then at the same time, this was the era, this was 2000, 99, 2000, 2001, that breaking was in a lot of stuff. It was in a lot of music videos. The Come On Over music video, Christina Aguilera, breaking. The list goes on. I remember knowing what breaking was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got down with Renegade Rockers, and who gave you your name, Kid David?
Oh man. So the name Kid David came before Renegades. So I started breaking around 99, 2000, and to be honest, I didn't really take it serious until 2002, 2003. So the first couple of years I was breaking, I was really, I was still focused on soccer. And my mom found a guy that was teaching breaking. His name is Miles, who later became Milestone. Yeah. Who later became part of Renegades. He was Rock Force first. Miles was my first teacher, and Miles basically taught me the beginning of breaking. because at the time he was like a choreography dancer that knew how to break. So he taught me what he knew about breaking. So as he was getting more into breaking, he taught me, but also he was kind of that element that made it important to know how to do choreography.
So you did choreo too as well?
I did at the same time.
Yeah,
and
the
then
bucket runs. We always used to make fun of the bucket runs.
Yeah, a lot of bucket runs. Yeah, man, that was that era, like Bombs Over Baghdad. Do you remember how fast that song was?
You did choreo to that, yo.
Baghdad. Yeah. So I was in Future Shock.
Bro, I was in Culture Shock.
Yo.
I did not know you were in Future Shock. That's when the bucket run was invented.
Bro.
To all the choreo heads watching this podcast.
Yeah. Yo, respect my name. No, don't, actually. Because I don't remember. Anyway, like, yeah, so I was in Future Shock San Francisco, which was the youth chapter of Culture Shock.
Exactly, yeah.
Culture Shock SF came after Culture Shock SD,
Yeah.
returned to
SD,
Jabberwockies.
Vegas, and then San Francisco.
Yeah. So
Crazy, I never knew this history about you. This
yeah,
is all new to
dude.
me.
So I was, and that was when I really got into breaking in like 03. And that's when I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to break. And started doing local battles. That's when Renegade started, when Wicket was one of the first people to really see me.
So he mentored you. Wicket was, and Miles.
Wicket was the first person to talk to me and be like, yo, I want you to come break with us. And I knew who Wicket was, obviously.
Tight.
So I got into Renegades in 04.
Oh, shoot.
Pretty quickly, I guess.
So you already Kid David before Renegade.
Damn, I didn't even answer that question. A local dude at like the youth center we used to break at was the one who gave me the name Kid David.
Did you have any other aliases before Kid?
Not really. That was it. And
Yeah?
then it's been over. It was over.
And then Squadron
Yeah.
started when?
Whoa, Squadron started in 2007.
All right.
And Squadron was originally, that was Mex creating, essentially like
A
it was
super
that
crew.
Yeah, or like almost like a street team. Like it was like it was very skate. Like in the early days of skating, the brands would create teams to rep the brand. You know what I mean?
That's right,
So every
'cause
brand
you-
had a team.
So you guys, Squadron was a sponsored crew for not B-boy World.
Biggest and baddest.
Biggest and baddest. That's right.
But it was kind of falling off of the B-boy world team. So the B-boy world team was when I kind of first started dancing with the Florida guys, people
Yeah.
like Speedy. And then Mex came out with the brand Biggest and Baddest. And following that kind of skate format, he's like, I want to make a crew/team to rep the brand. And that's when me and Roxrite linked with Beast Mode and Speedy and Luigi. And that was the birth of Squadron.
So that was the original Squadron crew.
That's right.
Wow, with the East Coast Breakers.
Yep.
And Break
The only
Boys.
West Coast, because Mex was East Coast. Mex is Florida.
That's right.
So
you and Rox were the only West Coast Breakers that
Yep.
was in the Squadron.
that's right. Because it was Squid,
Interesting.
Namek. It was
That's
basically
true. It was
unique
unique
styles
styles.
and skill methods with me and Rox.
That's a special history.
And sorry, Keebs, of course.
yeah, Keys. I mean, but
Who was Florida,
Texas, but
who was
Floridian,
Florida,
yeah,
Texas. So that's how that
Yeah.
that was the birth of Squadron.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So you guys are like a national crew.
And then we
Sponsored
were
by
like,
Biggest and Baddest.
Yep. So that's what brought us together was really the birth of the brand and kind of Mex's vision. It was like who Mex fucked with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so.
And some of the top breakers in the world.
Yeah.
And then who created Break Boys?
Oh wow, Break Boys was a vision from Mason Rose, to be honest. But that vision was spawned off of Skill Brat Renegades.
That's right.
So Skill Brat Renegades was Casper, Luigi, and myself coming together. And Casper, Luigi, and I really came together through, we were like the young guys of that generation. I battled Casper at, like, I remember hearing of Casper, like, it was basically like, at the time, it was like, who are the young nasty guys?
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
it was myself and Casper and Luigi. And I remember just like, the scene kind of made us rivals because we were the young guys. I battled Casper at Stilo's bachelor party. And I remember there was all this hype, me and Casper. And we kind of were like set up to not like each other. And then we battled at Stilo's bachelor party. And I had already started living in LA at the time. And I remember after the battle, we were like, we kind of just liked each other. We were both kids that loved to break. And we were both, you know, Casper was in the industry before me. I had just come to the industry. When I say industry, I mean LA and film and TV. And yeah, we just kind of clicked. And same with Luigi. I met Luigi early on and we clicked. I met Luigi in like 05 at like some of the early Spin Factor and Outbreak. Outbreak was a big one where I met all the East Coast guys. And anyway, Break Boys came off of Mason's vision, seeing me, Luigi, and Casper.
And this was post freestyle session after you guys won the 3v3?
It was
that
around the same time. We were shooting the pilot for Break Boys. Mason's like, I want to do this show. And we were really inspired by, again, skateboarding. So, you know, the Search and Destroy was a Thrasher tour, a brand called Thrasher, that took skaters and put them in a van and went across the country.
Yeah.
So ours was Break and Destroy. So it was inspired from skating. And Mason, who comes from the surf background, in his edits is also clearly inspired by skate and surf. The whole vibe was kind of like punk rock, skate, go around the country in a van, and do our thing. So that came after we were shooting that during that freestyle session.
Yeah, because I remember you guys did that national tour and you made a stop in Las Vegas and we shot that epic practice video.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorites.
Yeah, man.
So you've done a lot of industry work in LA. What are some of your favorite projects that you worked on?
Oh man, that's hard. Some of my favorite projects, industry-wise.
Yeah, acting, music videos.
I mean, one that
backup dancing.
Yeah, dude. One of my favorites, I think, probably would be the last Step Up that I did, just because I got to kind of do all these passions of mine at the same time. I was actually an associate choreographer on that one, Step Up 5. And so obviously passion for choreography, passion to dance, but then I was also acting in a lead role in the film, which kind of happened in like a funny way. But yeah, like that was a standout for me. I'm trying to think, all the early LXD stuff was meaningful.
Cool. Yeah, you've done a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. The LXD stuff was meaningful because it was really so many talented dancers from all styles getting together with the vision of John Chu. This was before web series. You know what I mean? This was one of the first funded web series through Paramount.
Was there acting in it? Because all the stuff I've seen, it was just like...
Yeah.
Oh, there was acting in LXD.
Yeah, Luigi.
I think I just saw a lot of the dancing sequences.
Yeah, there was a narrative, you know. It was episodic, and you know, like Luigi was playing Trevor Drift, and
dope.
I was his friend. This was right when I got to LA.
Whoa! So
LXD was right when I got to LA. This is before. This was like after Step Up 2, but before whatever.
Yeah.
That was a special one. All the things are really cool, you know. Like some of the coolest things you do, you don't think they're gonna be great. I did the something that like is still just relevant and brought up to me all the time is I did the motion capture in NBA 2K.
That's right.
And I did that. It's funny because I had a friend in high school that reached out to me who worked at EA. I did that gig for $500. He was like, yo, do you want to come in for 2 hours and do some motion capture for NBA 2K?
Crazy.
Signed my life away for $500. And all of a sudden, I'm like the victory dances for 6 years in NBA 2K.
It still lives.
I think there might be still
immortal right now.
I think it disappeared in like 2021 or 2022.
Oh, really?
But for years, like, you know, and I was doing a lot of my signature stuff.
Yeah. And everyone knew it was you.
Yeah, bro. And like everyone, like I'd have people like still being like, "Yo, NBA 2K," like, and I'm like, "Oh man."
That's tight.
Yeah, so that was a memorable one too.
So let's talk about your battle experiences. You competed at your first Red Bull BC1 in 2008.
Yeah.
And we were there together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That was actually one of the last. Wait, no, I competed in 2013 right after that, but that was the last BC1 that I competed at back to back because I did 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. I competed 5 years in a row. And
ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie.
The funny thing, bro, is I come back the 5th year. And we're there, I actually have footage of this, of us hanging out afterwards, and we're just laughing because we both lost the first round.
Was I laughing or crying? I was an emotional child.
It was, we were crying inside, but laughing outside to everyone else.
Yeah.
But we were chilling. I have this footage. We're in the big red bus, you know what I'm talking about? And I think we were leaving the event. Honestly,
I vaguely remember just having a ridiculous outfit on, but yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't seem phased at all. I think we were actually having fun afterwards.
Okay, that's
This
cool.
was shortly after we did the TV show, so I didn't take that year serious. I lost to Kolobok, and then who did you end up battling?
I lost first round to Little Chang.
A little Chang. Oh, Powerhead.
Yep.
Powerhead. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He was like one of the power dudes at the time. Yeah.
How did you feel about that battle? Did you feel like you really lost?
At the time, I'm sure 18-year-old me was like, I won. That guy doesn't dance. You know, I'm sure that was my mentality. Yeah, but I definitely, I can safely say I never did well at BC1s. I never thought I did like, I never felt like I was myself on those stages.
It's tough, right?
I guess so.
Everyone would agree.
It was tough
that
for me.
Anyone that's ever competed
Tough for me.
BC1, it's different than any other crew battle or any other one-on-one in a different platform.
Well, in honesty, like Red Bull BC1, I think is like the only one-on-one I ever did. There's like, I can't think of it. Maybe there's like a handful of one-on-ones, and I always strayed away from them because I've always liked the energy of a vibe in dance, and the one-on-ones I always like to stay away from. I never really cared about winning that much from the beginning. I never cared about winning that much. So, but like at the time I was like, I'm going to do a BC1. Like they invited me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What an honor.
That's
know?
huge.
Yeah.
To be one of like 2 or 3 breakers representing your country.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So you came back 4 years later in 2012. And I do remember we were shooting a reality show called Breaking Reality, which is
really clever name there. A breaking reality show called Breaking Reality.
But in the episode, I could tell you trained hard for that one.
Oh my God, did I train hard, bro. I remember being, I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna train, I'm gonna care. The first one I didn't care. I was like, and there's something about battling where it's easy to not train hard and commit, because then if you do lose or don't do as well as you want, you can always say, well, I didn't really train for it.
It's a cop-out.
And then if you win, you were like, whoa, I won, haha, and I didn't even try. Training is like, holds you accountable, right?
Yeah.
But I remember being like, I'm going to train super hard. And I linked with Moshe from Skill Methods Motion, who's a dear friend of mine to this day, who actually trained Cloud in 2009.
Ooh.
Moshe comes from a Muay Thai background, kickboxing. And I was like, oh, well, if it worked for Cloud, it'll surely work for me.
But you did come prepared.
Bro, that's the
I
most
remember
fit.
you looked very fit.
It's the most fit. I mean, this fool had me on like peptides and shit. Like, I was actually too big. Like, I gained like 10 pounds. I was really strong, but you know, like, to be honest, it's the most fit I've ever been in a breaking sense. The most prepared I've ever been. I do think there was like some type of dissonance where like I should have been dancing more. I'm a dancer at heart, and it was very training oriented. My stamina was amazing, all that stuff. I was like preparing sets in a way I've never prepared sets. And I think all that worked against me because day of, there's a couple factors. It was so hot. Do you remember that?
1,000%. We performed with the Super Walkies, Super Crew and Jab Walkies, and if you remember what we were wearing layers, bro, and the AC
Well, I know
went
you were
out.
wearing a mask.
And we were wearing a mask on top of it, but the AC went out at one point.
So the AC went out in the entire arena. I mean, it must have been over 100 degrees. And I remember being so hot. And when I look back at the footage, I'm like, that button down was tight. I was like, I was mad buff. I was wearing this like weird floral button down. Like my hat was tight. I looked like I was gonna explode. And I think something happened mentally as well. I almost gave up before the battle started. And I'll never forget, I walked on stage. I think I beat Little Zoo first. And then I battled Junior.
Right.
Like, bro, battling Junior's like, gotta be the worst. Like,
it's tough, yeah, because the crowd's always Team Junior.
It's Junior, bro, and I remember like, damn, Junior, and they were like, I remember they announced Junior, and the crowd's going insane, and then they were like, Kid David, and the crowd booed me as I walked on stage. I don't know if it's because they didn't like me or because they loved Junior so much, but I remember just being like, damn.
You felt defeated already?
I was mad, yeah, I felt mad, like, damn, I already, so.
Damn.
C'est la vie.
All good. Well, so we're currently here in Seattle for Red Bull Beat Riders. What is Red Bull Beat Riders, and what exactly are you here teaching?
Yeah, so like Beat Riders, I think was special because I was a participant in 2007, and it was different then. Red Bull Beat Riders it was more curated in that each person that was there was kind of. It was like not a lot of people. It was 7 days. It was all styles.
7 days.
I think it was like around 7 days, maybe 5 days.
Okay, but it's like
but it was very much
camp.
It was very much a camp.
Yeah.
When I did it, it was at Bella Karolyi's ranch, who's like the U.S. gymnastics coach, a Russian guy. It was like that was coaching U.S. gymnastics. So we were dancing where the U.S. gymnastics trained. Anyway, it was all styles. We learned from Brian Footwork Green and Sugar Pop.
Sick.
Ken Swift. We were learning all styles, and it was really special. So Beat Riders, it was for sure the coolest thing as far as kind of camp experiences at the time. And I did a lot of them. I did many of those kind of camp type things. I was hungry for those as a kid, specifically to learn all styles. But so now Beat Riders coming back, it's really cool. Now it's more catered to breaking.
Right.
And so I came here to teach a workshop that I originally developed. It was kind of a dream of mine to teach music and breaking in a way that kind of shows the conversation between the live band. So what I'm teaching here is essentially the foundation of the subdivisions of rhythm from the perspective of drums. And so I'm almost teaching drums.
Nice.
And which is natural to me because I myself drum, but also my brother's a drummer. And so what I'm trying to teach here is music theory behind the music that we dance to in breaking. So the idea is if we're dancing to the breaks, what is a break? A break is funk drums. What are funk drums? Funk drums are a 4/4 rhythm on the drums with ghost notes. What does all of this mean? So it's trying to get a deeper understanding of basically the music that the dance was made from.
Yeah, you have a very unique way of dissecting musicality and also explaining it.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I think I was telling you this earlier that you have some of my favorite judges showcase and also your music selection. 100%.
Dang.
I think a lot of people would agree, right?
Thanks, man.
But yeah,
Thank
your
you.
music selection. So when you go into these events that you're judging and you have to do a showcase, like how do you go about choosing the music, or are you even choosing it?
Yeah. I always choose it.
You always choose it. Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel like I got to a point where, for one, I don't dance publicly that much anymore. And I'm like, look, if I am gonna dance publicly, I want it to be to a song that moves me.
Right.
Because it's harder for me to be inspired to move now. So, and that's just being transparent. It takes me, so what happened was, normally when we do these judge showcases, you don't pick. And I got tired of it. I got tired of dancing to what I felt kind of stale break beats that didn't move me. And at this point in my artistry, I like to dance to music that moves me. So I started picking my tracks. And I remember some people kind of being like, yo, that's kind of lame. Like, you're like picking your song. And I'm like, yeah, I am, because I want to dance to something.
Why not? In any other dance platform, they choose their song.
Yeah, so
they choose
to
their
me,
music.
I look at it as a solo performance.
Yeah.
I'm not just doing a showcase. So for better or worse, I pick the track. I try to pick something that I find I can see myself dancing to. There's a visualization aspect to it. And I'm like, and then I do it. It doesn't always hit, but I've been having pretty good luck.
I think most of it has
I've had some really cool moments, and I think it just allows me to just show my dance in the way I want to. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about just our connection, having commentated at all the Red Bull BC1 North finals for the past almost 5 years, and also the Olympics, and our experience doing it, and some of the wildest things we've ever said on air.
The wildest things? Dang,
it's like,
dog.
did we actually say that shit?
What's funny about the wild things is I remember, one that sticks out is, was it last year?
Was it me or you?
I think it was you.
It was probably me.
I think it was
I say
you.
some impulsive things that it doesn't even. Yeah, it just
But this is how I know.
flies over my head.
This is how I know we've gotten more professional. Is I won't say something about it. Like I think it was the blow the load.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Blow the load.
You said.
Which, by the way, this is like a term
yeah.
that we used to use back in the day, and I just
Yeah.
never really thought how inappropriate it is. And in this new generation, they're always like pausing everything. It's like pause.
I mean,
pause.
people still blow loads.
Yeah.
It's not only back in the day. I just want to clarify that.
And the funny thing is, I think there was a time, and it didn't cross my mind until after I said it, was when you were talking about Victor being on the can.
And drinking him.
I was like, yeah, you're drinking Victor.
I was like, that's kind of weird. But I'm saying we've evolved because when you said blow loads, I just giggled.
You did giggle.
I was
but that was a giveaway, though. I think that's when people were like, okay.
I was like, but the old me probably would have been like, dang, Ronnie. But I didn't want to attract more attention to it. I think those moments are great.
I think they're funny. But I also think people don't realize like how long we're talking for. It's like 4 hours.
It's very hard. It's very
Yeah.
hard to censor yourself. In real life, I talk like a sailor. I swear a lot. I don't have a great filter, so I'm very proud of our ability to stay on air for 4 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made so many mistakes, wrong crews, wrong countries.
It's pretty impressive.
That was a good one.
That was a funny one.
When I
Not
said-
Kid Guppy, by the way, would always find little
Yeah,
clips to just highlight us. But I think it's great. I mean, it's part of our culture, and it's cool the fact that, I mean, we're still here. We're still doing it, right?
Yeah, man. And like to all, like, it's just not an easy job. And I don't think people realize, maybe some people do, and like shout out to everyone, but, and this isn't like a poor me thing or us, poor us. It's a hard job. Commentating is not easy. And I think we've gotten very good at it. Shout out to Lee Diffie for the work that he did with us leading into the Olympics. It's just not an easy job to talk to the core, talk to the masses, stay engaging. And yeah, man, I am proud of the chemistry we've created. You know what I mean?
Congrats on your Emmy.
Hey, congrats on your Emmy. You know what I hate about that? So many people are just like, whoa, like an Emmy. And it is a big deal. Like, leave me stuttering. I'm at a loss for words. It's not like we didn't deserve it or something. It's just so interesting how we got it. I found it, first of all, I find it insane that breaking got to a point that commentary is even existing. Then it's insane that breaking got to the Olympics. Then it's insane that breaking, with the help of Red Bull and what we created in Red Bull, we got pushed to be the commentators on the Olympics. Then, even more insane, for the first time ever, a live broadcast won an Emmy, and it happened to be the one that we were commentating that was in the Olympics. Like, it's wild.
It is wild, bro. I was
It's
kind of tripping
wild.
out too.
Do you know how many people work their whole lives for Emmys? I mean, I could list the actors that have been nominated or not won or are, you know, and so it's very cool.
Yeah, huge accomplishment.
It's very cool.
All right, so
and random.
Completely random.
Or maybe random. Yeah, random.
Completely random. Because to hear that an Emmy award-winning breaking commentator, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't.
But you know what's cool now? You can just do Emmy award-winning and like, you can just put that in front of it. You don't have to say the commentary part.
True.
Yeah,
True.
you can be like, I'm an Emmy award-winning podcast host.
Dude, that's awesome.
And people won't really know the difference until they're like, wait.
So you've commentated the actual Olympics, probably the only Olympics that breaking is going to be on. Hopefully it does happen in a few years in Australia. Like, we got to wait like another 8 years.
Hey, who knows, man?
You're a commentator, you've acted in like some of the biggest dance movies, and you've competed at the highest level. If you were to eliminate two of those, what would it be?
Whoa. Good question, Ronnie boy. If I were to eliminate two, and I can't do them anymore?
You can't, Basically, you have to choose one of the three.
For sure, battling at a high level. I've naturally eliminated that.
Damn, so you already eliminated breaking.
For myself. Okay. Yeah, man. Or in a competitive aspect.
Right.
I'll be honest, I'm completely not interested in competitive breaking for myself. And that's really just because I did it for a long time. And I find it to be a very youthful energy to prove yourself.
Very true.
And I'd rather dance to a song that I like. The music is a big factor in my getting away from competitive breaking. And if I had to eliminate another one, it would probably be commentating. Yeah.
Because you already won the Emmy anyway.
Yeah. Well,
the work is done.
Yeah,
The work is
what
done.
else I gotta do? No.
So acting.
Yeah,
Acting is where it's at.
I love acting and I love making films. To me, acting, it's kind of a culmination of everything as an artist, you know? I think it's one of the highest levels of performance art. And I just love the way it challenges me, you know? I think in commentating, it obviously involves emotion and intellect and rhetoric and the way you speak. So it's funny because acting helped me with commentating and dancing helped me with acting. And acting just seems to be a culmination of it all.
So you recently did a project in Australia. Could you
Yeah.
elaborate more on the whole project you did?
Yeah, it's a film, an indie film. Really cool story. It's a drama. There is dance in it. But what I loved about it wasn't just another dance film because I've done a lot of those. But yeah, it's a cool story. A lot of really cool actors, Australian. It's a complete Australian cast. I think it could be a really exciting project. The film should come out early next year. Yeah, man.
That's cool.
I don't want to spoil too much.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if you're even allowed to talk about it,
but in my opinion, it as far as a dance adjacent film, it's the most interesting script I've ever read. So.
All right, let's bring it back to breaking since this podcast is more about the evolution of breaking. You've been around for over 20 years. What do you think? And we're actually here, like, kind of teaching this new generation, right, with Red Bull beat writers. What do you think this generation is lacking, especially in the USA?
I think from a breaking standpoint, what the new generation lacks is kind of a connection to the culture, to hip-hop culture. I think our generation, it was more common, at least when I was a kid, it was like you had to know your stuff. And I think, I was raised, because of people like Miles and then Renegades. It was like, you gotta know the graph artists. You have to have, not only should you have favorite graph artists, you should know how to tag your name as well. You should be able to know the basics of graffiti. You should know the basics of DJing. You know what I mean? I actually DJ'd a bit before I even braked because I was hearing scratching in the music I was listening to, and I was like, what's that? So I think that it would be nice. I think the newer generation is disconnected because of the internet. People can learn how to just break, and breaking is so exciting. You don't really need the culture side as much anymore, but so much of that adds to the texture of why we move the way we move, we dress the way we dress. You know what I mean? It's just like our generation, you had to be a hip hop head first and then kind of choose the element, choose the craft. Miles and the original guys, they used to make me rap. Like, I remember them making me freestyle because it was just part of it. You know? So I would say that is the biggest thing that I would say is clearly missing.
And what would you say they're doing right?
I think progression.
Learning faster, right?
I think that's also a product of the internet. The progression's amazing. It's like there's so much talk about the new generation not dancing to the music. And I think there's truth in that. But I also think, and I know this because in the time that I've been in the scene, which I guess is like a solid 20 years now, and I've been teaching for a long time. I almost started teaching at the same time as I was even becoming anyone. And I know that there has been progress. It's almost like expected now that you're on beat and you're hitting the beats. And I know that because I used to teach workshops and teach dancers to listen to the one. You hit the freeze on the one. The thing is on the one. And at the time, no one was hitting the one. Now, everyone hits the one. So I have seen progression in B-boys acknowledging music because everyone didn't used to hit the one. And that's the crash cymbal or the...
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, I do think there has been some progression in that most competitive B-boys and B-girls are listening more than they used to. But obviously, the dance side of it could still pull up.
Were you ever the type of breaker to Cypher more, or when you started, or were you just more like crew competition based?
It's funny because I first was like competition. Mm-hmm. If I came to a battle, and I think it was also because of the people that taught me. It was like there was this like focus and this like athlete mindset to renegades. But at the same time, I had people like Wicket, and they used to take me to the club when I was 15. You know, I would get snuck into the club, and that's really where I learned how to dance.
So you really got immersed into the culture, because obviously that's when...
Early. But for some reason, the breaking competitions, it was like another world. It was like if I go to a breaking competition, that's where we compete, and we're kind of there to win. This was early on. And then... But at the same time, my crew was also instilling in me, we're going to go to the club, and you need to literally learn how to top rock to Neptune's beats.
Right.
And Pharrell, which is what was in the club at that time. And like, there was a house club we used to go to, and I had to learn how to break to house music. And that was instilled in me really young, mixed with like the choreography stuff.
Yeah.
But it's funny because this is early on. When I went to a breaking competition, I wasn't in the ciphers. Mm-hmm. I was there to
compete. Yeah.
To compete.
So I'm wondering if with this new generation, if the cypher etiquette is lost, right? Because a lot of times now, when people do cypher, it's probably just because it's part of the prelims. Yeah. Right, and people are just trying to jump in because there's a time limit. So no one really understands it because they never went to a club. Because this new generation, they don't party
trippy,
like we used
bro.
to. You know what I'm trying to say? So just a different upbringing. And we had Under My Wings at my studio in Vegas, and I remember Kenny was actually teaching a workshop, and when he was talking to some of the younger kids about how he came up, it was a different time, because back then you could go to clubs at 15, 60 cents. This new generation, they don't even probably understand the concept of going out and partying. They just want to train and practice and compete.
Yeah, man.
So it's definitely a different time. So what advice would you give this new generation that's obviously trying to be more authentic in breaking?
Yeah, a big part of it, I think, is like obviously the curation of the events. So it's
the event organizer.
I think it starts with that, like, because that kind of feeling where I showed up to just compete was when I first started competing, and then it became obvious very quickly. Like if I ciphered at jams, in between all the battles, I would do better in the battles because I was looser. So if I was ciphering in between the battles, I would then do better in the competitions, and I had to learn that. So between 2007 and then from then on, it was like, okay, I got to cipher at the jams.
Right.
And there were ciphers at jams.
Yeah, now it's just a corner where everyone's just practicing, right?
Everyone's just getting ready for the competition. Yeah. So I think one thing would be the events, if they could somehow lean in and curate it more to ciphers. But the problem is that now it's just not in the ether of competitive breaking. Yeah.
I do see it every now and then at certain events, like Outbreak. I was just at EG, Elephant Graveyard, and it felt very raw. So you still have these events that exist that are trying to bring the raw essence back.
Which is awesome.
But then you go overseas, and a lot of it is just like everyone's in the back warming up for the stage battle. Yeah, man.
And like, things like the Red Bull BC1 are what pushed it in that real competitive, an event without ciphers. Mm-hmm. I remember getting made fun of when I used to go to the early outbreaks, and this is what really shifted me. This is like 2006 where I met you. We actually won that outbreak, me and Roxrite.
That's right.
We won, and I'll never forget Jules, rest in peace, making fun of me for not ciphering.
Oh, he made fun of you?
Making fun of me, and I remember after we won, me and Roxrite and myself, we won Outbreak, and Jules being like, yo, it's dope y'all won, y'all are crazy. Because I know we pushed them in a direction of like, whoa, they do lots of rounds with lots of moves, and they hit everything. But I still hadn't really leaned into like dancing and letting go in the way that I started to evolve. And Jules, it sat with me because he was like, it's whack that y'all don't Cypher though.
Damn, he was that real.
But then he was also like, well, maybe that's why y'all won. And I just remember that being a thing. Like the competition came later. Jams used to always be about Cyphers.
Yeah.
So, blah, blah.
What was your favorite round that you've ever...
Oh, bro.
Favorite round. I know my favorite Kid David round.
Well, why don't we start with that?
I'm sure it's one that went viral. It's the freestyle session round.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, that's a memorable one.
Was that a freestyle round that you were just feeling the music? Or
it was. And the only reason why I
against
know...
Against Jinjo Crew, right?
It was against Jinjo. That was a Fusic track that took a sample from Santana. And I just knew that Santana song. And I remember Mex sending me that track. Like 2 weeks before.
Shut up. So
Mex and I always he used to send me music, and he was one of my mentors, and I love music, and he was like, bro, you got to hear this new Fusic track. And I remember he showed me, and so I just listened to it, and I was like, oh, that's dope. They flipped the Santana song. And I remember when it came on at the battle, I was like, oh, this track. And yeah, it was freestyled. And it was a special moment for sure, because I blacked out.
That's crazy.
At those times, I remember just blacking out. I remember just getting up and not remembering what I did.
Whoa, and you're just in it.
I think that's what happens.
Those are the best moments.
Those
right?
are the best moments, bro.
That's so crazy.
I had a night in Taiwan. There was this random night. I was judging with Beast Mode for hours, for like 10 hours we judged, and this was like 2009. And then we battled. We had an exhibition. Me and Beast Mode versus, it was like 2 Taiwan B-boys. But that night, that was a good night. I had 3 pretty crazy rounds that I think weren't seen as famous as that round.
Culture Shock? The event in Taiwan? Yeah.
It was a Culture Shock event.
I might have seen that. I don't remember that.
It was a Culture Shock event.
I want to bring it back because we didn't get to really talk about the Olympics. Do you feel that the Olympics was a net positive for a scene?
Dang.
Or, honest opinion, obviously this is a big topic, even 2 years later.
I think the answer is clear. I think it was clearly a net negative. I think it's clear. I think from an optics level, I could sit here and say, oh, well, all eyes on our dance are good. It's good eyes. But if you think about it, that moment was so, for lack of a better word, viral. It overshadowed everything. Therefore, net negative.
What's crazy is we were there when it happened too. In real time.
Yeah, dog, we were there.
In real time, we're like...
And you know what's funny, bro? So many people ask me, they're like, you were commentating. What were you thinking? And you know what's funny?
We were so in the moment that we weren't even...
And that's what I say. I go, when we're commentating, we're looking through a lens that's looking for things to talk about. Usually positive. Mm-hmm. We're not looking for negative.
Yeah.
So I just remember watching and we're looking for reasons to say things when we're commentating. Mm-hmm. So if someone is showing musicality or doing footwork or being clean or having a moment, we look for those things to talk about. And I remember us being silent. We were just very quiet. And then at some point, I was like, is she doing the kangaroo? Yeah. That's all I remember saying.
You 100% said that because I started laughing. But we were also trying to highlight all the good moments too. And like you were saying, there wasn't a lot of good moments.
Yeah,
with
man.
Reagan, unfortunately. They were, but they were more, gimmicky.
Yeah, dude.
So
when I first saw it, we don't remember thinking much, and then after is when it all
blew up.
And it was like, oh my gosh. And then I remember going home and going back to our hotel room, knowing the men's was the next day, and just getting on the phone with people. And I specifically remember having a text conversation with MG, and I was really upset. And we were upset.
Who's MG?
MG from the Legits, from Europe, responsible for Outbreak Europe. Close friend of mine for a long time.
I mean, I know MG. I just want.
Yeah, I've been friends with MG for a long time, and I remember being upset about it and having words with him. And so yeah, obviously there were positives. There are positives about it being in the Olympics, like the fact that people were able to make an awesome living off being a professional B-boy or B-girl in the lead up to it.
Yeah.
From sponsors, from media ops. Those were things we dreamed of.
Right.
Having deals the way they got.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of positive for a lot of individuals, but I just hate that even to this day, maybe forever, we'll see. I think it's receded a bit, the whole whatever. I don't even like saying her name. But yeah.
You know what's crazy? It's like it's inevitable that any breaking clip that goes viral, you could test it too. Any clip that goes viral, you'll always see mention of her name somewhere.
We can just say her name from now on. Her name. It was still an honor. Our experience was amazing.
For sure.
What an amazing experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I learned so much about media and the art of commentary through that, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
For us. I had an amazing experience, and we won an Emmy.
Exactly.
Sorry, how many times are we gonna say that?
I just keep putting it in there.
Dude.
But personally, not that I'm saying it was a net positive all around, but I mean, for one, we got what we asked for, right? We wanted breaking to be talked about and go viral, which it did. It was probably like the number one talked about event at the Olympics, but for all the other reasons, for all the wrong reasons. But yeah, I mean, I think it was great for the breakers that competed to get the opportunities, right? Like you have Vic, who won a bronze medal.
Yeah, bro.
And Phil Wizard, the B girls, you have Ami, like but the sad part is that it's only the core scene that probably knows their accomplishment, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Because it was overshadowed.
It was overshadowed.
I mean, granted, like, let's just say, like, a thought experiment would be like, let's say it didn't happen. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of sports in the Olympics. Maybe it would have been overseen anyway, like breaking, you know? But I do know from kind of like a involvement by companies and sponsors, it affected it.
Yeah. So what do we need to do to bounce back from that, David?
Man, don't ask me. I'm the wrong guy. What do we need to do?
What would you have done differently? Let's rephrase that question.
With the Olympics?
Yes.
Man, I don't know. Can I be completely honest?
This is what this podcast is.
Oh yeah, this is okay, cool.
Uncensored with Kid David.
I don't know that breaking was ready to be in the Olympics. I don't know that I've always leaned on the art side of dance. I've always leaned further away from the sport side. And we talked about this in our commentary, and it was really important for me throughout my commentary to push the fact that I do think dance is an art, first and foremost. Especially if you look at the definitions of the two, it definitely is an art. As soon as you make it in a context where there's a winner and loser, it's a sport. And we were saying these type of things while commentating. And to that point, I just don't know that we were ready infrastructure-wise. There's also a lot of things to keep in mind. There's a lot of politics in the Olympics. The federations that were involved with pushing our dance into a sport setting was messy. So I don't know that I think it's very cool that it happened. It shows how far competitive breaking has gotten. Do I think it should have happened? I don't know. Is it cool? Yes. Is it sad, the thing that happened? Also, yeah. Would it be cool if we got another chance to redeem it? Very cool.
Yes. So where would you like to see breaking in the next 10 years?
Breaking in the next 10 years? I just hope that, I think it's cool. I think the underground will always be there. I hope. I just hope people continue to do it because I think it's an amazing dance. I think it's just like, it's one of the coolest dances. I start to get, I'm a bit jaded because I've been doing it for so long, but breaking is so special. It really is. There's no dance like it. And I just hope it continues to be a thing and doesn't die like it once. There's been moments where it's died, you know, when you look back in the history of the dance. So if it keeps going, awesome. Because for a young kid, I don't know that there's a better thing to do.
And I think opportunities like this, beat writers, Red Bull beat writers, and that
Yeah.
you're a part of, that you actually started in 2007. Now it's a full circle moment. Now you're actually mentoring.
Yeah,
these kids.
man.
We have Red Bull under my wings.
Yeah.
So I feel the same way. I feel like if people just immerse themselves into the culture, maybe
Yeah, man.
balance out the competition, but also be part of the.
Yeah,
Because I feel
dude.
like crew competitions are kind of being lost too, or the crew camaraderie, or even the idea of the traditions that we had. Like, did you get battled into Renegades?
Yeah, bro.
I don't even know if this newer generation, at least in other
Yeah, there's no
countries,
beef.
no one
Yeah.
really battles
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah.
Because I know there's crews in other countries where you have to audition to be a part of it. It's more of like a team than an actual official breaking crew.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
approach it differently.
Yeah,
so I
it's
think if we
changed.
bring those traditions back,
Yeah.
or just bring the fun factor,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be honest, bro, the longer I do it, the more I just think it's all cool. I'm like, this is all great. I think breaking competitions exist separately from breaking itself. I think it's awesome. I think it's all great, and I think it's positive. Do you know what I mean? There's so much worse things that kids, like if we talk about the future, could be doing.
Right.
You know, like breaking is an awesome outlet. You learn so many life skills through breaking, and yeah, it's just an expression that's so special. Yeah.
I'm really optimistic. I could see in 10 years, hopefully, if it does make it back to the Olympics, we'll redeem ourselves
Yeah, man.
and we'll be commentating.
I like that. I'll be right there with you, bro. Just like, is that the kangaroo? Yeah.
All right, David, man, I appreciate you jumping on this pod with me.
Dang. Yes.
Send me your Venmo. I'll make sure to send you some money.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
this.
yeah. Cash App. Yo, my dog.
Thank you all for tuning in to District Talks. Don't forget to follow our YouTube channel at District Arts and wherever you listen to podcasts. See you at the next episode. Peace.
I'm probably not on camera.
Let's go.